Hello, America. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my review of Married at First Sight, Season 9, Episodes 17 or 15. Okay. Now, y'all see my hair? It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Thank you. I also woke up at 10 o'clock, or 10:30. If y'all don't know, I was waking up at like 11 or 12, and that ain't cool to me, okay? That ain't cool. But I woke up at 10. I went to sleep at 3. Yes, I did. But I woke up at 10. I actually went to sleep at like 4 because I came in here and I couldn't go to sleep. I'm very, 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 very happy and excited and proud. This should be a premiere video, which means I should be down there in the comments. I don't know if anybody's going to watch it. I might be the only person down there watching the video. But, I just decided that that would be a more interactive experience because, whatever. But I do realize that a lot of people in my comments were agreeing with me when I said the things that I said about Keith. But the people that did not agree with me, I said what I said, and what I said was the truth. It was the truth. Okay? But we ain't gonna talk about Keith and Iris first. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna talk about Matt and Amber. So before Matt and Amber were Deanna and Greg, I was smiling, I was happy, I was like, oh wow, they so beautiful, they so lovely. And when Matt and Amber came out, I was just like, what? Anyway, Amber says, the host, what's his name? Kevin said that asked them what did they like about one another. Amber said that she liked that he was a well-rounded human, and he said that he liked that she was a caring, giving person. Then Kevin asks, when did you figure out that the relationship was not going to work, Matt? And Matt, like Keith, said very early on, because he said within the first 15 minutes, I kind of thought that this wasn't going to work. And I said, I have reviews longer than 15 minutes. It take me longer than 15 minutes to do my schoolwork. 15 minutes is a drive from my house to my husband's job. Do you know, and it's really like 12 minutes. Do you know 15 minutes? And I was like, probably all that kissing, all that, I want to kiss you, I want to do all of that. That was probably a red flag to him. But I was like, Matt, you are completely and utterly out of order. No, I didn't put on no eyebrows because they growing back in. So, I can give you normal eyebrow, even though this one be dipping. I don't know why this one be dipping, y'all, but it be dipping. It be like, Anyway, sorry. Um, She said, well, if you knew that it wasn't going to work in the first 15 minutes, why did we have sex the next day? Why did you decide to stay in this relationship? He says, what? She said, why were you playing with my emotions? He said, well, I wasn't really playing with your emotions. I just thought, I listened to the experts and I thought that things could change and things could be better. Matt says that when he left that night, the first night that he left, and she was crying, that he didn't know that she had abandonment issues. And he also said that he wasn't living a double life. And Amber is like, well, look, I know the lady that you tried to lead a bar with. And Matt was like, you don't know her. And she said, okay, you can tell yourself that I don't know her, but I do know her. And she apologized and she felt really bad. So like, just own up to it. So Kevin said, were you living a double life? He said, no. Were you cheat? Did you ever have sex with another woman when you were with Amber? He said, no. He said no. And she said, well, that made me feel better, but I just feel like you hate me and, you're so callous toward me. And I feel like we should be able to be cordial with one another. And since we both live in the same city, I should be able to say, hey, that's my ex-husband, and not have to act like I don't know you if we see each other in public. There is no need for you to want to be cordial to that man. Okay. I understand people want to be cordial with one another. I understand people wanting to, you know, say hello to one another, especially if you know the person. Oh hey, hi, how are ya? No, 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 no. No, I don't. This man literally disrespected your marriage and your response to that is, let me be cordial with him. No, there is no need for you to be cordial with him. There's no need. Anyway, he says he's moved on, he's fine. She says that she moved on, she got her own place. She, went through her crazy phase, and now she's dating. She still hasn't found Mr. Right. It feels really good that she did the experience because she was able to learn about herself, and she got a really ugly dog. But every ugly dog is very cute. So yeah, that's the end of their update. I don't know why I'm laughing. Matt really don't give a fuck. And we knew that he didn't give a fuck. See, that's the thing. And what I'm trying to figure out is Amber isn't dumb. So she picked up on the signs that he didn't give a fuck. But you continuously showed him that you gave a fuck, and you were trying to allow, or not allow, but what is it? What's the word? Entice this man into giving a fuck. And he literally said, no, I don't. So I'm not laughing. I'm not. I'm not. But the first 15 minutes, do you understand the first 50? You can't, you, I mean, I guess they do give a movie plot in the first 15 minutes. So maybe Matt was right. Maybe he watched the movie of him and Amber, the life, he was watching the movie, he seen the plot in the first 15, and he said, I don't think this movie is for me. But then that brings the question, why didn't he just say to the experts? Because he needed a place to live. That's why. When they said, do you want to, what was it? Can you focus? You want to recommit or quit? He should have quit, but he didn't have a place to go. So I could see why he was using the experience just so he could have a steady bed at night. Okay. Anyway, we see Jamie and Elizabeth. They say that they've had some ups and downs, and getting back to normal life was stressful, and there was a lot of things happening. Her dog went into the ICU. They were moving her into his apartment, and they just cracked. So they of course, the dun 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 dun. It's all fucking music. They broke up, but I really feel like Jamie and Elizabeth will never break up. So they broke up. He probably took his cat and said, bye, have a nice life. And now they're back together and stronger than ever. Jamie says they never thought about not being together. They just needed to learn how to be together. Elizabeth says that they don't fight the way that they did on the show because Jamie brought the same energy that she was bringing to him. And once Jamie started talking to her the way that she was talking to Jamie, she was like, I don't really like all that. So they cut it out. The intimacy is better. They've learned how to, be together. He actually moved into her house, and they've spent more time getting to know each other. They have started basically dating, and they do still have basic Caucasian. Well, no, it's not basic, but it is Caucasian sex. When they were showing the video, and she said basic Caucasian sex, Elizabeth was watching the video talking about basic Caucasian sex, and I said, girl, to be quite honest, To be quite honest, she should make a t-shirt, because I would be walking around with basic Caucasian sex on, and people would be looking at me, why are you wearing that? Well, bitch, don't ask me why I'm wearing it, okay? Basic. Anyway, they're happy. They love each other. They are moving to San Francisco. This is just a little sidebar. I don't know why my eyes got so big. But I've never been to New York, but I've always loved New York. I always wanted to go to New York. I always wanted to live in New York. And when I got the opportunity to travel, I decided to go to California. Don't ask me why I said we're going to go to Oh, I know. I know why we went to California. Excuse me. I had to think about it real fast. I know exactly why we went to California. But we went to California. We went to LA for my birthday, which I guess would be like a year ago. Oh my God. Anyway, we went to California, and ever since we went to California, I know I continue to tell this story, and I know y'all like, get over it, lady. But when I tell you, California is just so beautiful. It's so lovely. So wonderful. And I guess because I'm in this, I just, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had a little bit of reflecting to do. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, we see Deanna and Greg. They look beautiful. They look wonderful. My background is brighter, so I look beautiful as well. Um, Deanna talks about the only thing that was going through her mind on decision day is whether their relationship would be able to survive the cameras and, the thrill of it all being on TV. And they were able to have meaningful, deep conversations when the cameras weren't there. So that aided her in her decision to stay. Greg said that he was a little bit apprehensive on decision day because of her not being in a relationship for so long. For 10 years, not 2 years like I put in my notes, but it was better without the cameras. Deanna said, I love you first. And when she said it, Greg didn't say a damn thing back. And she was like, okay. But then Greg said it at a later date when she found his sunglasses. And I'm just so amazed. They tried to tease us with, oh, are you expecting? Is the family growing? No, the family isn't growing. But Deanna did move into Greg's house. And when I tell you, Greg had a nice ass house, 4 bedrooms. 4 bedrooms, I think 2.5 baths, hardwood floors. That would be my mama's dream. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. But they aren't pregnant. Deanna is not pregnant, but they are thinking of starting a family in the next year and a half. And I would not, I know, I would not mind them getting a YouTube channel, because a YouTube channel is something that you could control. The cameras are only there when you want them. The cameras are only there when you want them to be. You only able to show, or you can only show what you want to show. Bro, when I tell you, I would love, because that little video that they had with Deanna and Greg, I would love to see. Sign up, please. Please go to youtube.com and sign up. Please sign up. Just have a YouTube channel. Please. 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 And it don't even have to be them sitting down talking about stuff. It could be vlogs. It could be cooking videos. It could be walks with Sandy. I don't give a damn. I just really feel like they are two, like I said, two well-rounded people who deserve the happiness that they got. From what I saw from both of these people in the short amount of time that they were on my TV screen, they look like two genuine people who understand, in order to maintain love, you have to grow. And both of them have grown within themselves and grown within that relationship. And I love it. I love it. I love it. And their skin is beautiful. They was both shining. Anyway, now I hate to have to end. Well, I mean, I still got to talk about when they was all together, but that's nothing. I hate to have to end on such a bad note, but we're going to talk about Keith and Iris. And when we do talk about Keith and Iris, I don't know if I said this in the beginning of my video, because I had to it's been a lot since the first time you seen the beginning of the video, the 13 or the 12 minutes that you seen when I came on here and now. So I had to do some stuff. So these are edited together. But anyway, give me my damn props, okay? Because everybody was talking about Iris just need to be loose. She needed to be loose. If she was loose, then Keith would have loved her. Yeah, Keith definitely would have loved her if she was loose. I'm sorry. Anyway, Keith and Iris come out. Kevin asks, what do you think that the experts got right? Keith says he really liked that they both served children. And I said, well, okay. She said that she really liked that they were both adventurous, and they wanted the same things in life. So they show the flashback, and Iris is crying. She says she truly cares about Keith at the end of the day. And when he said that he wanted a divorce, it was like a shock to her, and she felt like he gave her all this praise and then said, you know what, but that ain't cool with me, so I'm gonna head on out. And he like, well, that's not what I said. Keith, that is what you said. You sat up here and you said, you're a wonderful person, you're beautiful, you're lovely. I think that you and I are so compatible, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna head on out. That's what you said. That's what you said. So shut up. Anyway, Iris said that she would do the experience again, but she would change a couple of things. And one of the things that she would change is she would press Keith on the issues that he had with her virginity. She said that she wants to know what relationship experience means. She wants to know all of the stuff that he was feeling shaky about. She would have loved to have known that, but she do want to know right now, what do you mean when you say I don't have enough relationship experience? Then Keith starts talking. He started to talk. No, I'm serious. He was talking, but I was like, huh? Anyway, he said, he said, sex is an area she isn't experienced in, and she doesn't know herself. And when you don't know yourself, you're allowing for someone else to create your intimacy level. And she said, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not experienced in sex, but I wanted sex to be something that I shared with my husband. And Iris is like, so basically, you didn't want to help me to explore. And he says, one of the things that really showed me that you didn't have a lot of emotional maturity is when you found the condoms. And that was a red flag for me, and it made me think that you may have not been ready for a husband. Now let's talk about this, because all you motherfuckers, and I'm gonna get really mad for a second, because I watched another reviewer review Married at First Sight. I think that's the only reviewer that I watched that reviews Married at First Sight. Okay. So I was watching her, and she said some things that really pissed me off when it came to Iris, and how basically her lack of intimacy was the reason. Yes, it was the reason that Keith said no, but if Iris had been more sexy time, then the relationship would have been better. But clearly we hear right now that just like Matt, not in the first 15 minutes, but in the first couple of days, he experienced a red flag that, in my opinion, made him tap out of the marriage, okay, or made him pull back a little bit from the marriage. So what I have a problem with is the fact that was the foundation of him saying, and then it just built on and on and on. So it's like, so many people were talking about how Iris wasn't this and Iris wasn't that, and Keith was so vocal and honest and open to the camera and to his mama and to everybody who wasn't named Iris. But it's like, you already basically tapped out. Not in the way that that Matt tapped out. But you basically tapped out if you said that the condom experience was a red flag for you and ooh, I almost fell. It signified that she wasn't ready for a damn husband. But you never said that. You never said that. So if that was the red flag, then I could see how it built up and it built up to the point where he said he didn't want to be with her. But I want all you motherfuckers to realize that Keith is the reason why this relationship didn't work. As Iris said, how am I supposed to know what to change? I feel like I wrote what Iris said. I feel like I was because everything that I said in my video about both of them was said on this damn reunion show. Okay. How are you supposed to let someone or expect someone to change if you don't tell them that the things that you don't like are the things that you would like for them to change? You said she wasn't ready for a husband. Anyway, she said, and I just like I said, you could have told me about this and we could have fixed it. And he said, but yeah, you can't fix that in 8 weeks. And she said, see, that's the thing. You're talking about 8 weeks. I'm talking about a lifetime. And I think that is the problem. Keith was just focused on, okay, if what can you do for me lately? Okay. Or what have you done for me lately? Okay. So since you have not shown the enough emotional maturity that I need in 8 weeks, because clearly you were so emotionally mature by not conveying your feelings to anyone and not saying how the fuck you felt about stuff. But whatever. Since you since you thought that in 8 weeks she was gonna be able to do a 180 without you even conveying those thoughts and those feelings, of course he didn't think that it was gonna work. And she was like, I'm not looking at this. I'm looking at this as 8 weeks with cameras. Then without the cameras, I'm looking at this as a lifetime decision and things that you grow and you change in. And you weren't looking for that. And mm, he says that he's not trying to say that her being a virgin is negative. It's just like it's going back to the beginning. And he didn't want, keyword, listen to me. All you motherfuckers talking about Iris. Listen to me. Listen to me right now. Because this is what Keith said. I didn't say this. Well, I did say it. But I didn't say this. Keith said this out his own mouth. He didn't want the responsibility of teaching anyone intimacy and the foundation of intimacy. She said, so what is intimacy to you? He said, intimacy is, questions and cuddling and just being there for somebody and laying with somebody. And so she said, okay, let me hit you with this. So did we cuddle? Did we lay together? Did we, was I there for you without having to be verbal? Did we have some form of physical intimacy? And he's like, yes, yes, yes. And then when she said physical intimacy, he's like, in what way? Did y'all, I don't know if y'all kissed, because I really feel like he pulled completely out of the marriage. He was checked out. And that's why I said him and Matt would be best friends, because they both checked out of the marriage and didn't think that it was okay, or didn't think enough about their partner to even give them the heads up that, hey, you know what? Guess what? I'm not really a little bit feeling all this shit. You didn't even do that. Anyway, excuse me. Sorry. Um, he says he thinks that she did her best. They still talk, they still go to dinner. He says that a lot of change would have to happen on both sides for them to be together. She said that she would want to be together, but they would have to go to counseling so she could know that the issues in the marriage that led him to divorce weren't issues anymore. He says that he doesn't know that if he would date her in the future. And she said, you told me to move on. So clearly you wouldn't date me in the future. Like, what are you talking about? Kevin asks, well, if she gets some life experience up under her belt, would you go back? He says that he doesn't know. Then he's like, come on. Kevin is like, come on. Say what you feel what you mean. He says he's not ready to have a wife and she's not ready to be a wife. And she said, you don't know what I'm ready to be, so chill out, okay? And honestly, I really think that that's what it is. He wasn't ready to have a wife. And it's one thing to say, oh, I want to be married at first sight. It's another thing to be married. Because guess who was ready to have a wife? Even basic Caucasian sex, Jamie was ready to have a wife. Anyway, sorry. Iris says that she still has things that she, has to experience, and she's here for the ride. She says that she isn't broken, and he says that he has not been dating. So she like, so you ain't had sex? And he's like, why are you asking me that? And she like, well, I mean, you hadn't had sex for 8 weeks. That was such a prevalent thing in our relationship. I just want to know, are you good? He like, well, what you mean? Like sex, oral sex, blah, blah, blah. She like, he like, I'm good. Okay, he's good. Not a good communicator, but he's good. Okay, so that's the end of there. I just really want all of you who said that Iris was this and Iris was that, and I know I didn't get a lot of that in my comment section, and I was genuinely surprised that people agreed with what I was saying, because a lot of the hate on Iris is just like, girl, you don't know how to treat a man, but I know how to treat a man. No, 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 no. Anyway, moving on to the whole couple thing. Kevin asked, is anybody shocked that the two couples that didn't stay together didn't stay together? Elizabeth and Deanna are both shocked that Keith and Iris got a divorce. Um, Elizabeth thinks that they'll find their way back to one another. No, they won't, Elizabeth. I mean, it's wishful thinking, because on paper they did look so good with one another, and they visually look good, and they the same skin tone, and it's beautiful and it's lovely and it's wonderful, and she tall and he tall and it's nice, but no, no, no. He also asked, what are some of, what did he say? Or I think Kevin asked how helpful are, how, something about, he says something. I cannot remember what he asked. But Deanna says that they're still trying to remember the tips of the experts since they're not there anymore. And Jamie says that it's good that the experts are gone, but the information that they gave was priceless. I can't remember what they're talking about. No one on the panel is surprised that Jamie and Elizabeth stayed married, because their passion was, real strong. Deanna and Greg were shocked to hear how they talked to one another. And then they talk about, the shut up at the NASCAR place that Jamie said to Elizabeth, and Jamie and Elizabeth both said that there was more to that story than met the eye. And then Kevin was like, okay, but what about this? What about that? And Elizabeth was like, I mean, it really hurt me to see that again. I really don't want to talk about it. He like, but no, it's dumb to clear stuff up. And I'm like, okay, bro, let it go. Like, I mean, usually I'm like, no, ask them questions. Ask them now. But then I was just like, let it go. Like, it's not like they're divorced. They're still together. They're still married. They're still whatever. And her hair got darker, and I liked it. Elizabeth is cute. She's a cute girl. She wore her lashes. She looked cute. Her outfit was cute. I liked that dress. She was cute. Obviously, Deanna is cute. Iris looked wonderful. I loved the hair. Loved the dress. She said, okay. And Amber had on makeup. I just, never mind. Anyway, they talk about Iris and her virginity and if it will be a deal breaker for anybody else, and it's just like, it doesn't matter. And Iris says that she is going to wait until marriage again to have sex, and so now she's a divorced virgin, and she had hoped that she wouldn't have been matched with someone who thought her virginity was such a burden. So they talk about Matt and Amber and how the women knew much more than the men because the women talked, and Elizabeth knew a little bit more because same circles. So maybe somebody that Matt was trying to hit on knew Elizabeth, and Elizabeth had to come with that information and tell Amber. There are people outside, so don't worry about that. Anyway, um, Iris says that it was crazy to see the disintegration of a marriage right before your eyes. And Matt says that he does feel bad and he cares about Amber, but not on the level of wanting a romantic relationship. And they knew each other deeply, but not deep enough to stay together. Iris says that she thinks that he wasn't prepared for marriage. So they raise their hands. I think everybody but Matt and Keith say that they would do it again. I can't remember what the question was, but Keith and Matt didn't raise their hand, I think, both times. Then they asked them, or Kevin asked, what are some takeaways and what are some things that you can give to the next season of Married at First Sight? And everybody answered the question and they got to Matt, and Matt said nothing. And I said, Matt? Like he didn't even say no comment. He just said, and I said, Matt, you're a grown up. You have to at least say, I don't, you didn't say anything. I don't understand. But anyway, that's the season of Married at First Sight. I feel like I'm becoming quick note. So I had never seen Training Day, and my husband put it on last night when I was doing my hair. So I didn't really care about the movie, but I wanted him to tell me the ending. And he was like, I'm not going to tell you the ending. So I think, well, I was like, okay, if you've never seen Training Day, then I don't know what to tell you. But I was like, oh, do he get shot up in the car like Cleo? And my husband wouldn't tell me. And so he's like, no, it's too good. It's too good. So I was waiting for this big old ba 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 thing. And then he got shot up in the car like Cleo. And I said, why didn't you tell me? And he said, because I was mad that you figured it out. And I feel like I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm my mother. Because my mother would sit up here and watch a movie and know what was about to happen. Not all movies, because she liked foreign movies and movies that gave her a challenge, thrillers, suspense. Not thrillers, suspense, action. I ain't really an action woman. Anyway, I really feel like I'm becoming my mother. For me to sit up here, I feel like I'm gaining knowledge is what I'm saying. I'm becoming a wise woman, and I'm getting into the space where I know things and I know bullshit when I see it. And I knew Keith and Matt was full of bullshit. Now I know you was wondering where that was going, but there it go, okay? So anyway, if y'all ladies want Keith, he's single. Have fun with a non-communicating ass nigga. Anyway, if y'all like this review, you can like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Everything else you need to know about me will be down below. My name is Brielle. I make beats. I sing songs. If you like what you see, come on along. Bye.